Hello, good viber. How are you doing? It's your girl Esther Joy coming at you with another video. On this channel, we like to talk about love, light, joy, and peace. So if you, my friend, enjoy to spread these vibrations to the planet, then you are in the right place. Anyways, today we're going to be talking a little bit about being triggered, and I hope that you're ready because this is going to be a very packed tea time. And that is right, you heard me correctly. We are going to get the tea today. So I hope that you actually have your tea. I have green tea right here. And let's talk about being triggered. All right, so the thing that I've noticed about being triggered is that it happens. It happens to the best of us. We all have these traumas within us, and then something happens, and it's a response to that trauma to protect us. Okay, that's what's happening. And that's why we feel triggered. Now, when I get triggered, I wanted to share a little bit of what that looks like, because I'm telling you right now, hey, triggered, you need to walk away. Okay, so anyways, when I'm triggered, a lot of the times I don't even realize I'm triggered. It's like my body and mind go on this automatic mode of, oh my God, code red. Hence the red lighting. Totally not because my light is stuck on red right now. Anyways, what I wanted to tell you is that it's totally okay to be triggered. It happens to the best of us. It's not something that is a weakness, but you can leverage it to be a strength if you understand how to use it. And that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video, okay? All right, we're not even 100 seconds in, but we're already getting into the tea. So let's just tell a little story about me. So your girl Esther Joy really had this fear back in high school, and it really scared her. It was like some silly little vision of being the crackhead that lives in a closet. Anyways, that was crazy, and murder her family. So really crazy stuff. It freaked me out. When I say it freaked me out, it really freaked me out, guys. It really freaked me out. I was like, what the fuck is that? Okay, anyways, that's how I felt. I felt scared. I felt real scared. Why? Because I was like, oh, what does this mean? What does this mean in the long run for me? What does this mean? So this trigger was something that was inside my mind for a while, okay? I was freaking out about it because I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Is this true? Is this going to happen? And I realized that God was warning me, and I have to use that fear and redirect it to Him, because He is the only thing that I should fear, and God is love, and things that I fear are only because God wants me to come back above, and to ascend, I have to let go of the things. I can't pretend that I'm not afraid of them, but I can direct my fear and alchemize it. Anyways, back to this idea of being triggered. Now, I didn't realize that I was doing things that, from this fearful unconscious state, I was running into the thing that I feared the most, because I was triggered, and these triggers would go off, and they would make my mind and body automatically do and react in certain ways that were actually bringing me closer to what I feared happening. So that's the story time. Now, I want you to know that I'm not a crackhead living in a closet. I didn't kill my family. God has been good to me, and that His love is real. The greatest of all dimensions really does have you on all timelines and spaces of being. So you can allow yourself to just calm down a little bit. So there was that. Okay, there was a little bit of that in front of. Here we are trying to. All right. Can we do it? Guys, I'm not gonna worry too much about. All right, anyways, so being triggered is something that I also realized in relationships. It was happening a lot, okay? And, it was just the experiences, the thoughts that I had, okay? We could go back to the idea of porn and how it kind of programmed my mind, and I had a lot of triggers that were unbeknownst to me. I wasn't totally aware of them, but they were totally there, and it was really skewing how I was looking at people and the interactions I felt like I could have. I felt really triggered by even looking at my body, so I would cover up. Now, of course, these are some things that we should take into account, okay? Natural world and all of that good stuff. But there is a line where you have to realize that, okay, see, these subconscious actions that I'm doing unconsciously, the automated systems within my own being, they have a purpose. That purpose ultimately is to optimize the way our energy is being used. so that the least amount of energy can create the biggest result, turnout. So when we are triggered, I have been working and exploring, experimenting with my triggers, seeing what can I create with them? How can I leverage these so that I can get to where I want to go and understand what I don't want, and what I don't know, how that might be dictating these triggers and when, these actions happen. So the biggest thing I want to tell you right now is that I'm still learning. I'm still definitely absolutely learning. It's been quite a journey. Drink some tea to that. Now, when I am aware of the triggers that come up in my mind, whether it's something that somebody says that makes me think fight or flight, emergency, code red, oh no, red flag, oh no, a little crazy, when we get a little crazy, when I have those thoughts, when they come to my mind and I realize that I am in this state of survival mode, when I'm on code red and my triggers are leading my actions, taking time in that moment to observe what my triggers are having me do, aka, what am I finding will self-soothe me or calm down this panicked state, and then doing those things. So at first it's just observing. Yeah. Gotta observe when you have these triggers, because that it's something that, generally speaking, you don't want, you're fearful of. It creates this mindset or trigger within your own being that makes you feel like you gotta go into survival mode. And then what do you do in survival mode? Do you fight? Do you flight? Do you argue with people? Do you walk away? Do you isolate? I know that during certain ones, I'll do one or I'll do the other. And then that's not really balanced in the way that I'm treating others or interacting with the beings that were a part of that triggering moment. And a lot of the times from there, once you observe and you can see it, then you have to admit where you may have wronged them or yourself. And you don't have to beat yourself up about this. Just do it as a matter of fact. I see where I was wrong. You don't have to say, oh, I'm, turn yourself down. Just say, like, yeah, I see where I was wrong, and this is where I was wrong. And really point to where in that trigger did you see yourself going in the direction that you didn't want yourself to go to. So for me, that was actually self-isolating, because when you don't talk about talk about the things that for me were really I was fearful of, and I keep it in, I know that it's going to, the only thing that I can do is go deeper into the hole of my own soul, which could be a good thing, but in this case it's bad, because I need to get other people's insight. I don't see the whole picture, and I'm just looking through this one telescope, real, like, just looking at it, but I'm not getting the full picture. I need to have others at that point. So one of the triggers that I had, about talking about my fears, is that I felt ashamed that I was afraid of these things. And so I would get triggered whenever there was an opportunity to share. I would get triggered and I would retreat back, and I wouldn't say anything or change the subject. And I had to acknowledge, I had to observe myself. Okay, where were these triggers coming from? What were people saying that was causing me to feel that way? And then why was I acting that way? What was I doing specifically that maybe I didn't particularly like how I was handling that situation? And once I had identified it, then I knew it was prime time for me to reprogram that trigger. What do I want? What do I want to do? What energy do I want to give? How is that going to help that situation? And so that's been a big savior for me personally, just being able to be like, okay, so I was struggling with telling people this. So now once I identified, okay, I'm avoiding the subject, and I'm not mentioning this to people, even though it's something on my mind that I know I should talk about, because I'm going deeper into this negative self dialogue loophole. And I need to actually break that pattern interruption by first listening to, opening myself to others so that I can be more rational and have a larger perspective of what's going on here and have that insight. So you like, once you identify what the triggers are and what actions you're doing that you don't particularly like. For me, it was just getting really defensive over things, like when people wanted to help me, feeling like I had to defend myself, feeling like triggered that they were gonna be out to get me if they wanted to help me in some way. And I had to identify, okay, so what am I doing when I feel that way? Or what actions am I taking? And what particularly do I not really like? And then what would I like to happen instead? Instead, I would like to be able to accept people's help. I would like to let, honestly and vulnerably share what I'm going through and see how I could also help serve that person without there being an imbalance between the two, and there's, an equilibrium. So, yeah, triggers. We're here to really use these triggers, leverage them. But first, we have to be honest. So, I hope that this video helps you. If you are interested in learning more about reprogramming your mind around porn and really taking back that creation force energy to get the most out of it, then please check the link in description. We have a free preview, and there is an amazing free community for you to join there as well. So much love. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope to see you in the next video. I hope that this helps you as you continue to travel through your triggers and transform them to something better and bigger. Bless.